Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year! It's 2023! Woohoo! We did it! We got there. Another year, come and gone. 2023 should be a really good one for everyone. I really hope. I hope you all are having a good time out there. My name is, of course, Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman, and we are here today for the December 2022 Q&A session, sponsored, funded, and overall supported by the people on YouTube and Patreon and all of you who donate directly to me in the channel. So thank you guys for that. For those of you who don't know, I do this once a month. Patrons, members, people like that, people who directly sponsor the channel monetarily are able to ask questions every month that I then answer in these Q&A videos for all of you to see. So if you'd like to be able to ask a question in the future, guarantee some reliable income for me as opposed to ad revenue, you can join here on YouTube, on Patreon, other places like that. Support me, get some questions in if you wanted. It's a fun time. So a couple housekeeping things before we wind up getting started here, though. My plans to do videos for Tactics Ogre over the holiday break didn't exactly pan out, as you can tell by the fact that there have been no uploads. I was a lot busier over the holiday than I expected to be. Jane and myself were up at my parents' place for a little while, celebrating Christmas and doing we had to go out and celebrate my 15 years cancer-free, because that was the first time that Jane and I would have the chance to be up there with my parents, so we went out and had dinner and did that. Did some work on Jane's car, on my car, just overall hanging out, Christmas baking, things like that. So it was busy. It was very, very busy. I got some script writing done, so that's good. My next video, I'm hoping to have it out within the next couple of days. I'll be working on the script some more, hopefully finishing it today. Then I can record, edit, upload for patrons tomorrow. Which I guess, geez, what would that be? I don't even know what day it is. Today is Sunday, so that would mean maybe Tuesday on the channel. We'll see. We'll see. With any luck, that will be something that will come to fruition. We will see. It's a chunky one. It is a chunky one. We're looking at things that I've missed in Tactics Ogre Reborn. Sorry if you heard a little bit of mic shakeage there. Trixie jumped down off the desk, and she's just a small cat, but she has so much mass behind her. Yeah, so things that I've missed in Tactics Ogre Reborn. It's shaping up to be 13 things right now, so it might be a little bit of a chunkier video, depending on how long I talk about each point. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff to know. Not really tips. It's more esoteric information, more once you're deeper in the game information. So not calling it a tips video, but we'll be doing that. Spooky. Beyond that, we'll be getting back to streaming regularly, all that type of good stuff. We're potentially going to have Jane actually do the end of Breath of the Wild on stream, seeing as how she still hasn't finished the game, and it's been years and years since it came out, and the sequel is coming out. So we might do a stream of that just to kind of force her to finally finish the damn thing, because she's at the end. And then, of course, Tactics Ogre Reborn, Outer Wilds, other stuff coming real soon as well. That'll be scheduled. So this video should be up on the 1st of January, and there might be a stream today as well. We will see. And I think that's pretty much everything. I hope you all had a good New Year and good holiday if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, anything else. And I think we have some questions to answer. So we're going to get right into it here. Thank you for listening to a little catch up with Tom. Starting with King Tony. What was the first JRPG you ever played? Or the one that really pulled you into the genre, if they aren't the same? And for reference, Tony's was Final Fantasy 13. Cool. Not a bad starting point at all. Mine's a bit further back than that. There's 3 solid answers in my mind. There might be earlier ones. I guess it depends on if you classify... Secret of Mana would be... Or Secret of Mana would be a JRPG. So, okay, maybe 4 options. The first 2 that come to mind for me are Secret of Mana and Suikoden, actually. I've talked about Suikoden on the channel before, did a video about the 1 and 2 remaster that are coming out. Cannot wait for that. Awesome, awesome, awesome classic PS1 era games. And then further, but I've only played 1 and 2 on the PS1. So yeah, Suikoden and then Secret of Mana, which I heard got like an HD remake port that wasn't very good, which kind of has me a little sad. But But yeah, Secret of Mana is one of the first games I remember watching my dad play and then actually playing with him because you could plug in two controllers. And because all three characters were on the screen at the same time, and it was like, I guess kind of more Chrono Triggery in a way. You never went into like a separate battle screen at all, but you still kind of like ran around and had active turn battles and all that type of stuff. And you could play with up to three characters if you had the extension, but we only had the two controllers. So he would run around as the main character, and I would run around as what was his name? I don't remember if it was a he. A little sprite character with the orange hair. I think it was orange hair. It's been a long time. Those of you who know Secret of Mana know the little like caster dude. I'd play as him because he was the small one. So I was the kid, and then my dad was the big one. He was the main character. He was my dad, and it was a lot of fun. So those two for sure. And then Final Fantasy VIII as my first mainline Final Fantasy entry that I remember watching my dad play and then playing myself. And of course, Final Fantasy Tactics. That kind of encompasses the overall idea of JRPGs for me. Might give you guys a little bit of insight into why I enjoy the JRPGs that I do, because those four games definitely formed the foundation of the genre for me. Beyond anything that really pulled me into the genre, not really. I was pretty much in once I hit those. And I mean, I played all of them to some extent when I was a kid, and I've gone back and beaten all of them that I didn't beat when I was a kid since then. So they are definitely the ones that pulled me into the genre. I don't know which one I played first. Probably Secret of Mana, because I played it with my dad. I'm going to go with that. Secret of Mana. So thank you for the question, Tony. That was a good one. We have a bunch of questions today, actually, so we're going to try and keep this moving along at a decent clip. Mike Ridings. Would you consider an action-adventure puzzle game like God of War? I'm currently playing Ragnarok right now, and it's ticking all of my boxes. I'd assume it would for you as well. I'd love it if you'd go for a completionist run, just like we did with Kingdom Hearts back in the old days. So for those of you who don't know, Mike is a former roommate of mine in college. And something that we liked to do was we would sit and we would do full runs of games, one or the other of us playing, often me, but not always. And we would just go and we just talk about it. And it's kind of where I got the inspiration for doing YouTube from, because I loved that vibe so much. I talk about how the vibe I try to have on the channel is like you're sitting like on the couch with me, hanging out, playing a game, shooting the shit, you know? I just like that vibe. I think it's very cozy. It's very comfortable. And that's partially where that came from. Also, you know, playing games with my dad and with friends over the years, whatever. But so that's what Mike is referring to here. As far as action-adventure puzzle games like God of War, I'm not opposed. I'm not connected at all to the God of War series in any way. I've played a couple hours of Chains of Olympus, I think, because I got like an old used PSP back in the day that had like a weird ROM that didn't have sound like already loaded on it when I got it from the shop. It was very weird. So I played it for a little bit, but again, it didn't have sound. I had no connection to God of War whatsoever. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, I'm going to just play Final Fantasy Tactics, which is what I got this for. So that said, I have always been interested in God of War 2018, and I actually have, hold on, let me grab this. I have right here, I think I've told this story on stream before, a copy of God of War 2018 for PS4 that my dad, I believe, just found on the side of the road, sealed. Like, I have the wrapping off of it now, but yeah, just sealed in its packaging on the side of the road while he was on a job one day. Like, it flew out of someone's car or something. So he took it home, and I think played it, but didn't like it, and then gave it to me. So, I have had it for years. I've just never gotten around to playing it, and I wouldn't be opposed to doing it on the channel if people were interested, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of like I've got so many other projects in the works and things that I want to do and things that consume time both on and off the channel that I've never gotten around to it. So, and that said, if I was going to play it on the channel, as much as it's cool that I have this copy of the game, I'd probably want to get like the updated 60 FPS PC version because it'll look nicer and also because it'll be just way easier to record than trying to record on my PlayStation. So, yeah, I think that would be the answer to that one. Obviously, I can't say if I'd play Ragnarok since I haven't played the first one, but, you know, I'm interested, if nothing else. I mean, Chris Judge, even though, you know, with the Game Awards kind of became a little bit of a meme for his long-winded speech. Love the man. I loved him as Teal'c in Stargate SG-1. So I wouldn't be opposed to just listening to him talk in God of War. But thank you, Mike, for the question. Killer Cake asks, what is some of the worst mess-ups, or what are some of the worst mess-ups, I should say, you've ever had in the kitchen? Like, did you ever nearly burn a house down? For those of you who don't know, I very much enjoy cooking and everything. It's one of my hobbies that I just do for enjoyment and because cooking is important. And so it's fair to ask, I would say, if I've had any untoward happenings in the kitchen. Fortunately, the answer is not really. I've been very well taught by my mom, and just who I am usually quite on top of whatever it is that I'm doing in the kitchen. I've had meals that don't come out great before. Things that have burned and like wind up tasting burnt. I had a lovely giant triple batch of chili, or not chili, curry, that got a burnt flavor to it because it just started boiling really fast in the pot, and I didn't catch on until it was too late, and it had burnt to the bottom. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, no, nothing ever nearly burning a house down. I have had self-injuries though, in this apartment specifically. There was a time where I stabbed my hand with a knife when trying to pit an avocado. That was fun. Normally I'm not too freaked out by injuries and things like that, but just remembering the thunk of that knife hitting my palm was, oh God. It wasn't terrible. Like, I didn't need stitches or anything. It was a pretty deep cut, but like, it was fine. It wasn't like a huge laceration or anything. It was just like I think it was this palm, and it just point on. So it was a clean cut, and it wasn't a particularly wide one, just deep. So I had to let it heal for a long time, and it hurt for a long time. But so there's that. And then I did a dumb, and when I took a pot that's like a combination pan and like oven roasting pan out of the oven, because I was doing a ham and potato casserole in it that needed to cook in the oven to get like a nice brown crust on the top. I took it out, and it had been in the oven for like 45 minutes at 400 degrees, and I said to my brain, don't touch the handle. We took it out with an oven mitt. Do not touch it for like an hour until it cools off. Not 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, I should adjust that. Ah, God, why? Brain, I told you not to do this. And I actually had burnt onto my hand the patterning. It was like a hexagon patterning that's on that pan for a while. It stung like hell. We had to go to the store and get like antiseptic and gauze. And I was like, oh my God. It healed. I didn't need anything beyond that. And like, there's no scarring or anything. But yeah, that was fun. Jane's made fun of me for those a fair bit. And that's fair. So yeah, those are probably my worst kitchen mishaps, I would say. Thank you for the question, Cake. Shanur says, do you have a list of games you will play/stream in the future? Will play/stream? Not really. I don't have things that planned out in advance. There's a couple upcoming games that I definitely will be covering on the channel, either in their entirety, like what I'm doing with Tactics Ogre, or as like a first look type thing, hard to say. Metal Slug Tactics, Fire Emblem Engage, even words are hard. Advance Wars, Reboot Camp, stuff like that, as well as a bunch of other stuff that's going to be coming out for sure. I'll potentially play the new campaign of Destiny on the channel. I did really enjoy playing Witch Queen for y'all last year. I know there's not a huge audience for that, so we'll see. Maybe stream it. But it's not too set in stone either. I do have a recommended games list in my Discord, which I have a ton of recommendations from the community, things that I've pinned that I'm interested in, that I will try to draw on when there's a lull. There hasn't really been too much of a lull. There's a couple things that I've played based on community recommendations in that channel. Vampire Survivors, Baba Is You. I believe Inscription was in that list. That might be it. There's a lot of things in that list that I haven't had the time or the money to access, but eventually. So I guess if you're interested in what could wind up coming to the channel at some point in the future, Shanur, that would be the channel that you would want to look for if you're in the Discord. Link is in the description if you want to join. And then I do kind of, as part of the new year, want to get a better organized schedule and kind of like list of future events up on the channel. Like, I want to have a more regular streaming schedule and video upload schedule and kind of like a things to come, things I'm thinking of type thing, so you guys know what's going to be coming in the future. So a list of games that I will play or stream in the future could be a good thing to add to that. We'll see. I'm only one guy, and it takes a lot of effort to maintain the channel just as it is, let alone adding on more stuff. So I don't want to promise anything, but that might wind up being what I do. Brand Solar 1. Oh, and thank you for the question, Shinar Islam. Brand Solar 1 asks, do I have a Valve Index? Unfortunately, no. As cool as it would be, and as much as I love VR, just based on the few experiences I've had with it at like my friend Dante's place, we do not have a Steam or a Valve Index, and probably won't for a long, long time. Don't really have the money to spend on something like that, unless it was for the channel, but VR stuff for content, not really the biggest thing, unless you're doing like Beat Saber. But it would be fun. There's a ton of stuff that I'd love to play on it. I mean, hell, I'd love to play Half-Life Alyx. But no, Valve Index, not something that Jane and I have, nor probably something that exists for a long time in our future, but maybe someday. So thank you for the question, Brand Solar 1. Ahmed Falai says, if you were given the option to IRL meet with one of the Ogre Battle characters, which one would you pick? Cressida, and dare I say, Cressida. And that's no meme. That's 100% my answer. Of course, most of you know, because most of you are now here from Tactics Ogre, Cressida is my favorite character in Tactics Ogre Reborn. She's my favorite class in Necromancer. She's just a very interesting character in general with the way her story goes. I won't get into it for spoilers here, but she's just a very well-written character in my opinion. She's cute. What can I say? Sue me. Video game character is attractive. Oh, well. Jane knows, it's fine. No one get weird about it. But that's not the reason that I would want to meet Cressida. I would want to meet Cressida specifically because it would be very interesting talking to her as a person. And, I mean, not for nothing, maybe learning the secrets of life and death and how to raise the dead and be a necromancer myself. I'm just saying, man, it would be really freaking cool. But a character like that, who, again, with her story and with her, like, connection to Nybeth and what that has entailed for her, I feel like she'd be a very interesting character to talk to. So, yeah, Cressida. Cressida is the answer, perhaps unsurprisingly for many of you. So, thank you, Ahmed, for the question. Appreciate it. Hellzark says, Tifa or Aerith? Tifa, dare I say, Tifa. There's no other answer, honestly. Jane asks me what questions have I gotten for the Q&A, and that's kind of where I brainstorm what my ideas are going to be. And when I brought that one up, she was like almost offended. She's like, Tifa, obviously, what kind of question even is that? So yes, Jane and I are both huge Tifa fans here. She's awesome. She's cool. She's beautiful. She's strong as hell. She's sweet as hell. And like, listen, the Aerith, the plucky Genki girl, like, cool. Love it. I know that's a thing for some people, but Tifa all the way. Bar none. She's just the best. So, and I'm glad that she's the right choice for Cloud, you know? All right. Nobody says, what do you like more? Tacos, cats, or Taco Cat? To this day, I don't truly understand what Taco Cat is. It's just something that nobody kind of brings forth into the conversation every once in a while, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't know what it is. So not knowing what Taco Cat is, I cannot in good faith say that I like Taco Cat more than anything else. And while I do really like tacos as a food item, they're not my favorite food. And I do really love cats. So I'm going to have to say cats. Trixie's not here at the moment. I don't know where she went, actually. She's probably on the floor in the sun where I can't see her. But I mean, I love our little girl. My parents and I have had cats my entire life. Much to my dad's chagrin at first, but he's come around to them. I just love cats. Cats are great. So if I had to choose one, cats. Definitely. Thank you, nobody, for the question. Caffeine System. In keeping with the season, what's your favorite holiday food and or tradition? I think we can answer both of those. I think there's a opportunity for an and there for sure. My mustache. It's not really mussable. Very bristly hair that I have. So, favorite holiday food. Boy, oh boy. I'm assuming we mean Christmas. Because otherwise it would probably be turkey and stuffing for Thanksgiving, but we're not like a turkey family for Christmas. So, we don't really have a big Christmas family tradition anymore. We used to do ham, and then after we did ham, we would do ham, potato, and cheese casserole, which is actually what I was making in that story before where I burned my hand on the pan. So that's kind of funny that I bring that up. But that would probably be my favorite holiday food. I have a lot of fond memories of like making ham potato casserole with my mom with all the leftover ham from Christmas, and it would just be so good. Oh my God. But we don't really do that anymore. So I guess I could say that. But really, what I have to say are snowballs, and not snowballs made of ice, snowball cookies, which I actually, hold on, I have some. Hold on. I can show you guys. These are snowballs that I made myself while I was actually up at my parents' place for the holiday with Jane. Let me see if I can. Ta-da! They're delicious little cookies. Handmade by me. Put that aside and then I will consume it in a moment. I love snowballs. They're probably my favorite Christmas cookie. There's a lot of good options out there, but snowballs are my favorite. They're very simple. It's just like, butter, flour, sugar, food processed walnuts, and basically just chilled, laid out in, well, you don't even really need to lay it out. I just peeled pieces off it, honestly. But pieces of dough are pulled off, kind of like when you do a peanut butter cookie with a Hershey Kiss on it. Same type of deal. You flatten out the dough, put a Hershey Kiss in the middle, and then form the dough around it into a little snowball. Then you bake them, and once they've come out of the oven and have cooled a little bit, but not too much, douse them in powdered sugar. Delicious. Simple, easy to make, so freaking good. And to this day, those Hershey Kisses are just a little bit soft. So it's very, very nice. That's probably, if I'm excluding ham and potato casserole, my favorite holiday food. As far as tradition, my voice went a little bit there, sorry. As far as tradition goes, I mean, I know what my favorite holiday tradition is. It's just not one that I get to indulge in anymore. And it was taking care of the Christmas tree. With a live tree, like picking it out in the winter cold, cutting it down, bringing it into the house, getting it all set up. Putting ornaments and everything on it was probably my least favorite part of the whole ordeal. But then just having it up, having it look so nice, checking it for water, sweeping up the pine needles, being able to appreciate it. Like at 2 a.m. before you go to bed, all the lights are off except the lights on the tree. And just the smell, and it looks so nice, and there's snow out the window behind it, and you're caring for it. It's just, that was my favorite thing. Unfortunately, 5, 6, 7 years ago, my family switched over to an artificial tree. And Jane and I have not set up a Christmas tree in our apartment yet because we're worried about Trixie destroying it. So, and when we do, it'll probably be artificial. So, I don't know when I'll have the opportunity, if ever, to tend to a living Christmas tree again. But that was my favorite part of the holiday season, beyond like gift giving and everything like that. But that's simple. That's standard, shall we say. So, no, taking care of the Christmas tree was my favorite tradition for sure. So, thank you, caffeine. I'm going to eat this cookie now. See? Little Hershey Kiss in there. And we're back. Thank you for allowing me to take a quick break to consume my cookie. Not that you saw the majority of that consumption, but we're back. And we're picking up with IR Fine, who, as always, has tossed me a wild card question, allowing me to choose a question to answer for you guys. And I think it's just, what do I want to do in 2023? I kind of alluded to this before. There's a few things that I would like to do. First of all, I want to get the channel set up in a more consistent, easy to understand, and predictable way. I like to keep you guys on your toes a little bit, and I will continue to do that. But as far as like having a proper streaming schedule, having a list of upcoming projects, games, things like that, having regularly set days where I try to upload my videos and things like that to keep me on a schedule, and so you guys can kind of expect when there will be new content out, all that type of stuff. I want to do that because it's just more professional. It'll keep me feeling a little bit more grounded and focused, and keep me from getting stressed about trying to put something new out. Like I have that structure to work with, which I think will definitely be beneficial. And I do think it'll just be good for the growth of the channel because it'll help people kind of come to the channel and then stick around because they know what to expect. So I definitely want to do that as far as the channel is concerned, get back into variety streaming a bit, variety content creation in general, as well as, guides and news and informational content like that. And then I also want to get back into my fitness routine. This past year was kind of weird for that because I was so concerned about money and getting the channel going and making ends meet and making things work, that between the stress and the focus that I was putting into that, I definitely let my health slide a bit. Not terribly, I'm doing fine, but I'm not where I want to be, and I need to get back to that point. So I need to start regularly getting back to the gym again, doing things for my health, eating better, all that type of stuff. There was a lot of stress eating this year, so I want to work on those things. They're very, I would say, simple goals for 2023. Nothing too concrete, I want to be 180 pounds and ripped by the end of the year. Not saying anything like that. I'm just getting back into the routine. And then, setting up just general structure stuff for the channel. So kind of a simpler question. Usually I try to go a little bit more in depth with the wild card, but I mean, it's the new year. Should talk about what my goals are, right? So, and do yourself a favor. If you are going to set a goal for the new year, don't do something super hardcore and concrete. Do something malleable, do something simple, do something small and attainable so that you don't wind up down the line feeling stressed and disappointed in yourself for not achieving this lofty goal that you set for yourself. Do something that you'll be satisfied with and happy with, and then work from there. There's plenty of time in the world. Don't stress yourself out over it. Okay? Cool. Moving on. Thank you, as always, for the wildcard question. Fine. Very much appreciated. Let's see here. Canadia asks, Christmas is over, but Christmas music is still playing on the radio. So, what is your best Christmas memory? This is an easy one. Again, any of you who know me and know my story might be able to predict this one. My best Christmas memory is when my family and I were told that we were going to be getting out of the hospital early in 2007 when we were dealing with my my osteosarcoma, my cancer, and my chemotherapy. We'd be getting out a week early, and we'd get to be in remission, completely done with treatment, and be home for Christmas. Nothing beats that. I don't think anything ever will beat that. The sheer unexpected relief and joy, because we thought we were going to be in the hospital through the holiday. And that was fine, but it would have stung, And then that hospital staff, my doctors, the nurses, everybody busted ass to make sure that we'd get out early and that we could go home and we could celebrate and that I'd be healthy and clean. And there would be follow-up appointments and all that type of stuff, of course, but we'd be done. That was their gift to us. I know I've talked about that before, but it just can't be beat. As far as Christmas memories go, that's a pretty good one, of being alive and getting to celebrate that with my family. So, simple one for me, getting to be home and celebrate Christmas. I was sick as hell. It sucked. We barely had any time to prepare, but somehow we did, and it was a great Christmas nonetheless. So, definitely that. Thank you, Canadia, for the question. Light asks, what are items you could never leave home without? List only as many as you are comfortable sharing publicly. Well, thank you for the question, Light, and nothing that I'm particularly uncomfortable sharing. My wallet, my keys, my phone, a water bottle. That's probably the extent of it. It depends, of course, on how far we're traveling. If we're traveling, then yes, there's going to be a lot more stuff. But if I'm going across the street to the grocery store or something, I'm not too worried about it. Beyond the basics, though, I guess one thing that I try to bring with me on any longer journey is some form of entertainment. Typically either get podcasts loaded up on my phone or bring a portable gaming system or something like that. It doesn't happen too much anymore, but I remember as a kid losing hours of my life to traffic jams and just rush hour traffic in general, detours, accidents, things like that, and just being miserable. I hate my time being wasted. So I do try to bring some sort of entertainment with me, like a PSP or my Switch or something like that, so that if I'm stuck somewhere for an extended period of time with nowhere to go, I at least can enjoy that period of time while I'm waiting. So, beyond that, pretty much it, honestly. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys bring with you. I guess it was different back in the day when I was in college. Like I'd always bring my laptop and things like that in case I had the opportunity to get some work in between classes or something like that, but not anymore. Pretty homebody-ish, so don't need to bring too much stuff with me. But thank you for the question, Light. And finally, actually our last question. Yeah, 30 minutes. Okay, that tracks. I was going to say maybe this is a shorter one today. No. Schnorble. Do you plan on continuing to make content apart from Let's Plays and streams after Tactics Ogre is complete? You make really great guides for stuff, so it'd be cool to see those continue. Well, thank you, first of all, Schnorble. It's really kind of you to say. Seeing as how it's Tactics Ogre is where I just kind of started winging it with guides, and I have a talent for it, it would seem. The answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. Like when Fire Emblem Engage. Why can't I say that today? When Engage comes out, I will definitely be doing guide content on that. Obviously, a lot of competition in the Fire Emblem space nowadays, but still, I just want to make my content and make the content that I would want to see in the world. So I'll definitely be doing guide content for that. And then, yeah, just whatever other games I play that warrant it, for sure. Absolutely. There's a ton of Tactics Ogre stuff still yet to do, absolutely. But yeah, in terms of once it's complete, I'm sure I'll find stuff to do. If Final Fantasy Tactics winds up getting a remake or a remaster, yeah, I'm going to be doing guides for that. And even if it doesn't, and I just play it to play it, which was my original plan a couple years ago, and then that kind of fell apart because Tactics Ogre got announced and everything. I'll definitely be doing guides for that as well, because it's fun. I like covering news, so like news stuff for Armored Core 6. I'll probably do guides for Armored Core 6. There's going to be a lot of demand for that, I know, and a lot of big YouTubers that'll be doing it as well, but that's fine. Again, I just want to make the content for me. Yeah, I think guides and whatnot are definitely a part of the channel identity now. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. You guys enjoy watching it, so we'll definitely be doing that in the future. So thank you for the question, Schnorble. And with that, I do believe, let me double check here, but yeah, it looks like we are good. So if I missed any of your questions, guys, let me know. I can either do an addendum to this video or add them on to the next video for next month. I don't think I did. I think I was on top of it, but you know, I'm checking like 3-4 different places. So it is entirely possible that I missed something. Thank you for participating as always. Again, if you want to be able to submit questions for this type of video every month in the future, consider joining as a YouTube member, on my Patreon, things like that. You'd be making me a little less reliant on ad revenue, which is massively appreciated, and you'd be able to participate in community stuff like this. So, hey. And if you can't or you don't want to, that's fine too. Don't want to pressure anybody. Just letting y'all know that the option is there and that it benefits me a lot, and I appreciate it. And so does Jane. That's, you know, you're supporting both of us. So, with that said, though, we're going to wrap this one up here. Going to go start working on, or continue working on, really, my next Tactics Ogre script. Again, have a happy new year, everybody. I hope it goes well for you. 2022 was great, especially in the tail end for me. I'm hoping that 2023 is just as good for me and all of you out there as well. Again, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman. I hope you all have a good night. Stay safe and healthy out there. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.